Morning all. One of my good friends, Jessica Fisher-Queen from ChessGames.com, she's also on YouTube. She's done an excellent series, a set of videos about Polish chess, and Rubinstein in particular as one of the major exponents, major Polish players. But Savielly Tartakower is mentioned in her third video. I'll put the links to her videos in the description of this video. And a game fragment is given in that video of an excellent attacking game against Geza Maroczy, played in 1922. I'm quite fond of Savielly Tartakower. In any case, before it was mentioned to me to maybe check out this game and video annotate this game. Savielly had a very witty quotations. Here are some of them. It's always better to sacrifice your opponent's men. An isolated pawn spreads gloom all over the chessboard. The blunders are all there on the board waiting to be made. The winner of the game is the player who makes the next to last mistake. It is not enough to be a good player, you must also play well. The move is there, but you must see it. No game was ever won by resigning. I never defeated a healthy opponent. Because that refers to when players blame illness for or whatever for their loss. Tactics is knowing what to do when there is something to do. Strategy is knowing what to do when there is nothing to do. Moral victories do not count. So anyway, let's get on to the game. Just one more thing though. So during World War One, Savielly Tartakower, he was drafted into the Austro-Hungarian army, so he served as a staff officer on various posts according to Wiki. After the war he emigrated to France, settled in Paris. Although he did not even speak Polish, after Poland regained its independence in 1918, he accepted Polish citizenship and became one of the most prominent honorary ambassadors of Poland abroad. Hence this game is related to Jessica's series, which I think it's really worth checking out. Okay, so I've checked out the videos myself, and I think they're really good. So okay, let's get on to this game. So D4 was played by Geza, and E6. So maybe keeping the flexibility for a French defence if White plays E4, but C4 was played, and now we see the Dutch defence. Now, Savielly was actually one of the hypermodernists, one of the early hypermodernists. He didn't mind experimenting with openings and how to influence the centre. So you saw quite interesting games from him in terms of opening theory. So A3 here, cautiously stopping Bishop B4, the Nimzo sort of Dutch hybrid. Bishop E7. Now we see E3. Okay, a solid move, just preparing maybe to put the bishop on D3. So after castles, in fact, the bishop did go to D3, and now D5. Okay, so black is setting up actually a kind of stonewall the pawns. Okay, he's got some dark square weaknesses to factor in though. So knight F3, C6. So we have a stonewall Dutch setup. But with White sort of unable to play for E4 very quickly, this is quite effective against this. But when White's already sort of played D3 in other sort of systems and is ready to play E4, this might be less effective, this setup. But here it's very nice that knight E4. It's a kind of stereotypical kind of stonewall attack setup. The bishop can come here, the rook can swing across. And it'll be a major onslaught against the White King, as this game demonstrates very nicely, in fact. So Queen C2, we have Bishop D6. So, okay, there's the problem piece here, but even this one is liberated later to get into the attack. The Queen side, yeah, it's not too developed, but this attack's very nice and easy to play, using Black's control of that E4 square, which is like pegged in by these two pawns. So, very interesting attacking setup to try as a sort of repeatable point scorer. So knight D7. Okay, Bishop B2, and now the rook swings across. So knight D7 actually covered that E5 square just in case White did decide to do something with E5, like Okay, so rook f6, swinging the rook across. So rook h6. Okay, g3. It looks as though, you know, is white going to be solid enough here? Okay, where's the you know, the point where black can inflict some damage here? Brings the queen into f6. After bishop f1, now we see the pawns being used to smash up the white pawn chain. So with this move f4 or g5, g4 being threatened. In fact, it's g4 that was played first, and this encouraged white to play knight takes e4, which gives black a nice kind of f-file pressure, exposure on that f2 pawn, which proves very important now. After knight d2, can you spot black's next move? If I give you 10 seconds starting from now. Okay, Savielly played a spectacular rook sack, rook takes h2, so he's exploiting that exposure, that f2 pawn being exposed. If knight takes e4s are not going to sort of they're not particularly knight takes e4 here. Maybe they're just queen h6, in fact, just protecting the rook and threatening sort of mating thing. So there's no real distraction from this tactic. Okay, so so white took that rook, allowing queen takes f2 check. So how to proceed the attack now? King h1. The knight comes in first. So black's not in a rush to take on g3 here with the bishop. He can actually swing the knight in maybe like this as well. And also this knight to f6 you know, means that the bishop's ready to sort of come out more with a later e5 thrust if needed. Okay, and white's kind of stuck for what to do here. Also the pawn can be actually taken by the queen. So after rook e2 now, in fact the queen does take, so that's another point actually. Bishop g3 wouldn't have been maybe that hot because of rook e2 here, in fact. Should mention, let's just engine check this just to make sure actually. So this move knight f6, just waiting to take that pawn with the queen really. So knight f6 here. So if bishop takes g3, saying rook e2 actually is an would have been an advantage for white. This would have been a terrible mistake. Evicting the queen, protecting h2. So actually here, white can actually organise maybe the fence, maybe rook g2, and white will be sort of better. So okay, so that's actually a key move then. So in this position, just wait for that rook e2. So just knight f6 was played. So rook e2, just take with the queen, okay, and now this knight can swing to h5. Okay, so this knight is kind of aggressive on the edge here. So white played actually queen d2, maybe, you know, queen e1 to try and evict the queen. But bishop d7, you know, the attacking reserves have been brought in, maybe, you know, with rook f8 being introduced as a possibility. Rook f2 though, queen h4 check, and now actually bishop g3. So the rook's kind of tied to that second rank a little bit, but the queen's also protecting the second rank squares at the moment. Okay. But here there's an offer actually of an exchange sack, so bishop c3, just try to reduce black's attacking resources. But the rook is taken anyway because now g3 follows, so white's still tied down defensively, and now more attack is poured in. Rook f8. After bishop e1, a very, very nice move now to really maximise the power of this bishop and to bring that bishop into the attack. I wonder if you can spot the next attacking move played by Savielly. If I give you 10 seconds here. Okay, rook takes f1. So removing white's light square bishop and going for that light square attack. I think Agard has mentioned one of the there's 7 attack ingredients, and one of them is to choose which colour of square to go for the attack. Maybe this is a good demo that black's choosing the light square attack, and rook takes f1 is very, very logical then for a light square attack to be successful, knocking out white's light square bishop. So king takes f1, e5, immediate tactical consequences to threaten bishop h3, skewering the queen. But king g1 now, bishop g4, so this very nasty idea of bishop f3 and queen h1, very difficult to parry with this light square attack. These light squares all kind of lit up now for pieces to be docked on. So bishop takes g3, it's all getting a bit desperate now. Knight takes g3. Okay, so white's technically the exchange up, but his king's getting absolutely like slaughtered here. e2 is very vulnerable, tries to protect e2 a little bit. But now knight f5. Okay, so that actually unveils an attack on the rook. The rook has to move or be protected. So queen f2, but now queen g5 with possibility now of the discovered attack again against the king. So bishop f3 in fact is allowed, and now knight g3 check, and here white resigned. One of the problems now is losing the queen with this knight h1 check, so that'll be winning the queen. So a bit of a crushing attack there. Nice choice of nice exchange sack after with that rook takes f1. Let's have a look in overview and summary at this game. So so an early hypermodernist, Savielly Tartakower, playing Dutch Stonewall attack, and playing it in a sort of very lovely way, demonstrating, although stereotypical kind of looking, this is a very, very effective attacking system. Just entrench a knight on e4 and then just go for the king. Maybe using the pawns to blast open the white king if needed as well. g5. So with threats of like g4 and f4, but f4 is less possible. That e4 needs to be reinforced all the time by these two guys. So this g4 opening up that f4 exposure on f2 with that makes that lovely tactic soon available. That rook takes h2 now. So rook takes h2. So white's king really getting exposed here. And then it's nice how the attacking reserves are brought in here with a bit of patience, not to take the pawn with the bishop immediately, because then rook e2, but instead just waiting for the queen to be nudged to take on g3 and then carry on the attack. So with these guys now all sort of coordinating, and the pawn is also part of the attack really, this pawn on g4. So it's very nice how also more attacking pieces are being brought in. Another rule of attack, it's not just the quality, it's more important is the quantity of pieces. I think I'm going to have to order Agard's attacking manual, because this actually is, I think, even though I've read like so I've seen one of Agard's interviews about it, and he mentions a lot of the stuff which is in this game actually, like bringing in quantity, attack on a particular colour complex, attacking the weakest points, attacking the strongest points, evolution, revolution. Okay, so bishop g3. All the weak points are being attacked here, the dark squares, but now this light square attack comes in with this rook f8. There's introduction of this other exchange sack to choose the light square attack to continue things. So e5, and white's kind of defenseless after that exchange sack on the light squares. If it's not h3, it's g4, so then it will be like f3. These pawns are doing a marvellous job actually of supporting all these advanced outposts in the opponent's position. So bishop takes g3, it's starting to get desperate, and the attack carries on now relentlessly, so until decisively winning material here, or white's getting like forcibly mated soon after anyway. So knight g3, and that's it. Beautiful game from Savielly. Okay, but if you want a great introduction into Polish chess, an overview, check out the links I'll give in the description of this video for Jessica Fisher Queen's last 3 videos on her channel. Okay, thanks very much.